turn it off on the last show and then forget to turn it back on. And I see that our connection has been lost on the audio, which is annoying. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. It's probably doesn't like the bit rate or something. That's probably what that is. I don't know how that works either. So I know that FacoTube is working tonight, so I suggest everyone go to FacoTube. And I'm sorry about the audio thingy, but the audio keeps cutting out because it's streaming at a high bit rate and it's giving an error, even though it's not streaming at a high bit rate. Let me just check the bit rate. See, there's so many things to figure out here. Let's see, audio. Anyway, so tonight we have the great Mr. E. Mr. E is with the Apocalypse Now, or no, what is it?
I don't know. Apocalypse Watchman, I think it's called
All
now.
right, sorry.
Shoot, on Odyssey, it's just called Mr. E. Keep it simple.
All right, and we welcome Mr. E here every month because he is a great guy. He really has a handle. I really like Transvestigation, but I like the total package of Mr. E. So that's why, and he's a great investigator of psyops. He is obviously heavily invested into looking into the COVIDs, psyop operation. It's so big that I just like having different people and different from different specialties come on the broadcast and offer their suggestions and time. We could talk about his channel till the end of time, and I think that's why most people are here. But he has so much other stuff to add as well to the events of the day, and I think a lot of people like the events of the day as well. I'm looking on your Odyssey channel. I particularly go to your Odyssey channel because, as I've said to many people here before, if you go to the 3 buttons on the top, you can copy the RSS URL and they can paste this into your favorite podcast player like Podcast Addict. And that way, all these videos will be downloaded automatically to your podcast player and you can play them there. And if you auto-populate your playlist, it'll be inserted in your playlist right away. So it's a really handy way for all you mobile people or people that rely on your phone to get these videos automatically. And most of the time it works. Odyssey does have its own technical problems, so sometimes it doesn't always work. But that's how I receive Mr. E. And he's done quite a few, videos over the last week. Or sorry, the last month since we've last talked. As you can see here, our last show is here 1 month ago. So he's done some football stuff. He's done some good stuff. I think we talked about the Damar Hamlin thingy. I can't remember. Was that on the last show? Do you remember?
I don't know. I don't remember actually.
Yeah, I don't either.
Probably not. If we had a show and then if that happened after that, I don't know. I don't know if I made the video fairly quickly after it happened.
Which is really
I think.
important if you want to catch all the.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you don't have all the information yet, so it's kind of a. It's either way, It's like the faster you make the video, the less information you have, and then it kind of story unfolds a bit more later on. So it's there's different ways. If you wait a few days, you have a different insights. I think that may be more. I usually wait. I'm not like I'm not like a news reporter. Like, oh, this just happened over here.
Well, the news reporters don't get any real information either because they're not actually investigating. They're just reading the script.
Yeah.
And you know that if it's a psyop, which I'm an auto hoaxer, which means every single thing that comes out to me is automatically fake. And then I try and then I let time prove that it's real. Like for
Yeah,
instance, our
exactly.
mayor just resigned in Toronto. I don't know if it's worldwide news over where you are.
Was
So
that the kind of the large fellow?
Oh no, that was 10 years ago.
Oh,
We
wow.
replaced him with
Time
a really
flies.
boring guy that couldn't even win dog catcher of the year. And he got inserted into the mayorship of Toronto. I think it was a 3-way deal between the premier of our province, where they made a deal to let the big fat guy Rob
Yeah.
Ford.
Tom
He was
Ford or whatever,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rob Ford. He was
Rob
I think
Ford.
he was kind of modeled after Marion Barry of Washington, DC, the
He
crack
was the
guy.
crack didn't he do crack and stuff?
Yeah, I don't think he
And he had the
really did.
fly didn't he have, like, a fly land in his mouth or something?
No, that was his brother who became the
Oh,
premier. You see,
no way, his brother.
yeah, they
His
have a
brother was premier.
yeah,
Oh,
they
man.
have they come from a power family. Like their dad
Mm.
was tried to become premier. He didn't quite make it. I guess he didn't kiss the right rings or something. So he had two sons who by and he had two sons and he grew up within 10 miles of where I grew up. So I didn't
Huh.
go to the same school, but I was told by people that I know that they were into drug dealing. Now I can't prove it.
Wow.
Back in
Wow.
high school, there's always
Yeah.
a low level drug dealer, that kind of thing. So because
Yeah,
they're rich
yeah, yeah.
kids, they had, I guess, nothing better to do, so
Yeah,
they had
probably.
access. So that's the story. I don't want to slander anybody.
Yeah, exactly, I know a guy who used to do coke with Obama
Whoa.
in
Okay.
Hawaii. I mean,
Oh,
it's like one of those things you feel like you shouldn't really mention it, but, it's in his book. Obama talked about it in his book, doing drugs, or Barry Soetoro, I should say,
all
the
right.
Indonesian, which
Right.
nobody am I the only guy who's said that he's Indonesian? I
No,
saw some website from, like, 10 years ago, somebody said something
no, I've seen
similar.
that. I've seen that. And there's a picture of
Okay.
the Indonesian guy with a hat on or a little.
Yeah, his, like, relative, the
Yeah.
Joko Widodo, the current president, they look pretty similar,
Oh,
30 days apart, born 30 days apart,
yeah.
according to the official story. Yeah.
I could go with that. Yeah, that makes more sense. So Polynesia, Hawaii
Yeah,
and
he's a 100
Polynesia.
he's Indonesian. I've been to Indonesia.
Mhm.
There's kinda darker skinned and lighter skinned Asian people, and
Sure.
Indonesia is kinda pretty diverse, actually. But anyway, oh, yeah, I mean, I knew a guy, and he showed me photos, right? So,
Mhm.
he said
Oh,
that,
wow.
like, he did way more drugs than what he said in the book.
Who was he though in Indonesia? I wonder.
No,
Because
well,
he
he was
left.
just a kid, I think. He was a kid, but in Hawaii, he did grow up in Ho he went to high school in Hawaii, 'cause I know a friend of mine who I haven't seen for a long time, but he
Mhm.
went to high school with him in Hawaii,
Okay.
and he was part of his little drug, group.
Yeah, interesting. But how the
So,
hell did he get on the fast track to become president? Because
the
they must pick these
well,
people.
he's born well, he's doesn't really have any parents, right?
Mhm.
Those people they claim to be his parents are not really his parents,
No, so he is a
and,
total
he's
spooky.
like
Is
a
he
came out of
spooky?
a lab or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you and
He's
I
one of these hybrids, you know?
yeah, I agree. I've definitely speculated that way.
Yeah, yeah,
And
he's
and then
and I
there's
don't know
always
why Indonesia of all places. It used to be a Dutch colony, so there's probably a lot
right.
of weird stuff going on historically.
Yeah.
The Van Halen brothers are half, Indonesian. Eddie Van Halen and Alex Van Halen, which nobody know I didn't even know that till a few years ago, you know?
I
So,
think we've talked about that before.
yeah, that's kinda why people think they're FTM. I mean, maybe they are, I don't know, but, we just have to factor in all the kind of ethnic information as well into the transvestigation or the analysis. But, it kinda gets into the whole transhumanist thing because like, who are these people? And or more importantly, what are they, you know? And, what are they trying to do to us? But anyway, you're talking about the Ontario drug drug dealing elite family. Wow, yeah.
I think there was what
The
I think happened was Rob Ford was a really populist type guy who spent his own money at City Hall. So everyone liked him that was outside the downtown left wing core. Like Toronto is a normal American type city. We have a downtown core where all the rich people live and they're left. And surrounding it are the so-called poorer people that are in the suburbs. So when they merged the whole thing into one big ugly city, uh, there's more people outside, so they brought in Rob Ford. He won as mayor, so because the suburbs were kind of controlling the inner core. Because after the merger, there was more in the outer core. Anyway, so Rob Ford was really popular, but he was hated by the elite downtown left wing
mm,
limousine liberals. You see, and they
uh,
hated him, but everyone else liked him. Like the working class, like me, we all liked him because he's more like us.
mm,
Anyway, so he won 2 terms, and they were doing their best to derail him all the time. And the mayor really doesn't have any too much power anyway.
yeah,
And he was gonna run again, and then suddenly, he died
Oh, wow.
of fast-acting cancer. Just he up and
When was
died.
that?
It would have been maybe just before it was time to run for the 2nd or 3rd time.
Was that, pre-bioweapon or post?
Oh, no, this was
That
10
was a long
years
time
ago.
ago? 10
It was
okay,
about 10
okay.
years ago.
Alright,
So
yeah.
then the current mayor of Toronto, who just resigned yesterday or Friday, he
Hmm.
was gonna run for the party that was likely to get the title of running the province. And he's a sort of a left-wing guy that could never win in the right-wing party, but they were probably gonna bring him in again. So I think he made a deal with Rob's brother, Doug, Rob and Doug,
Mm.
and Doug probably said, "Listen, I can't have you running for the PC party, the Conservative Party, because you'd probably win." Because Doug sort of doesn't have charisma like his
Oh,
brother. Like Rob had charisma. So I
yeah.
think he made a deal, say, "Listen, my brother will agree to bow out, and the only way he could lose is if he died." So guess what? He died.
Mm.
So then that way he said you could become mayor of Toronto, which is sort of the second most powerful job at the time in where I live, and you would run unopposed. So you'd probably win, even though you have no popularity. You'd probably win because you'd be unopposed, basically. So that's what happened. So he
Uh,
didn't run for the premier or the leader of the party, and Doug did, and Doug lost. He lost. I think he lost. So some other goof. Oh, sorry. So some other goof. They pushed him out as leader. Let me rephrase that. I know this is boring everyone outside Ontario. Anyway, the bottom line is Doug eventually won, and then because his party formed the majority, he became premier, which is a more powerful position than mayor. And Rob just disappeared, and
huh,
everyone believed it. They didn't need any explanation. He had this fast-acting cancer that no one's ever heard of,
huh.
and he
Wow.
just died. And it was a
Jeez.
closed casket at City Hall, et cetera, et
Whoa,
cetera. And,
that's
like, to me,
bizarre.
I think they all made a deal. It was a three-way deal, and everyone got what they wanted. And, because of the Agenda 21 megacities that are coming in the next few years, they made the mayor job more powerful. They
Ah,
they
yeah,
they
yeah,
turned him into a strong mayor, where he has just a little more power than the average city councilor.
yeah,
And eventually the mayor of the megacities is gonna be as powerful as a region, a mega region, because there's gonna
yeah.
be no more states, there's gonna be no more
Uh,
provinces, you see?
it'll be like a colony. It'll be like yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be like a little, serfdom or something or
Well,
a
everyone's
fiefdom.
going to be in the megacities. No one will be able to live outside the cities except the elite. So
So they're
outside
gonna
the
have to,
cities,
like, move people who live kind of in the country, they're gonna have to move them into the cities?
absolutely. That's what they've done in China. They did that in China too. And that's why you have ghost cities, because sometimes they overbuilt too fast, or
Ah,
people didn't move, or whatever happened.
and what did they just make it impossible for people to survive
They
in
withdraw
a small
services.
town?
Yeah, they
What's that?
withdraw services. They can close the hospitals,
Ah.
say, "Oh, we can't support a hospital out there."
Ah, close the
So
bank, close this
they
grocery
just cut off
store.
the services. They let the roads go to hell. So and then they just take services out. It's pretty simple.
Wow.
That is the Agenda 21 plan. That's why I've kinda shifted my website. I still love to talk about Andrew Giants media fakery, but I talk about Agenda 21, communitarianism, because that's what's coming. And they've
Uh,
been saying this for 25, 30, 40 years, but
yeah.
now it's actually happening.
But
And
maybe
everyone
I wonder if you can kinda live off the land, you can kinda still stay out there, they'll just kinda
no,
let you s
no,
no?
there's no. They're gonna hunt you down.
Ah,
It's not gonna happen. I just don't think it won't be viable. I guess there's
I'm
I
just
guess
about to move out to the country.
I know you told me you were moving, so I figured.
Maybe I should just cancel. I'm still in the old house, but we're gonna be moving in a couple
Well,
weeks,
they'll get
hopefully.
you. I don't think it's gonna happen overnight.
Yeah, yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be because everything they do is Fabian, which is it's incrementalism. They just
Uh,
chip away year after
yeah,
year.
yeah.
They couldn't just round people up. It's a slow process, but it could happen in our lifetime. Like a friend
Oh,
of mine
yeah,
said, "Why
for
are you
sure.
worried? Why don't you just have fun, eat food, relax?" I said, I am relaxed. This isn't stressing me out. I just like to know what's gonna happen. I'm one of those people that I
Yeah,
enjoy trying to put the puzzle pieces together
yeah,
because
yeah.
all the clues are out there. You know,
Well,
you
it's
talk.
reality. I mean, you're the one living in reality,
Yeah.
and everyone else is living in some kind of fantasy. And it's not a good, and they're gonna be, they probably in the ones who got injected were, could possibly be fatal to. I mean, I got actually, you know what? Speaking of that,
We should,
a friend of mine.
let me hang up on YouTube now. YouTube, if you
Oh,
wanna listen to the rest
yeah, yeah.
if you wanna listen to the rest of
Safe
this,
and
go to
effective.
Safe and Effective. Go to
Safe and effective.
fakeoktube.com for the real talk. We're gonna hang up on
Get your
YouTube.
boosters.
Goodbye, YouTube.